Victoria is being hailed as one of North America's top spots for cycling. The city's bikeability rating ranks high on a new website called Bike Score. When it comes to improving bike lanes and trails, Victoria has made a lot of progress. But as Monica Martinez reports, some say the city still has a long way to go.
As a cycling city, many would say Victoria is at the top of the list.
This is just wonderful, the pathways, and beautiful.
Victoria's climate is great, even when it's gray in the wintertime.
It's good. It's improving every year.
The city has the highest percentage of bike commuters in the country, according to Statistics Canada, and now it can add another bragging right to the list. A new website called Bike Score groups Victoria, Vancouver and Montreal as the most bike-friendly cities in Canada.
Cycling in Victoria compared to most communities is easy, it's fun. Most of the traffic is friendly and gives some space.
Bike Score generates a map using data on bike infrastructure, number of hills and bike amenities. Green areas are the most bike-friendly, while reddish colors mean the area is not ideal for cyclists. According to this map, Gonzales and James Bay are the least bike-friendly areas in Victoria, mostly because of the lack of bike lanes.
Our trail systems are wonderful, but I would say the road systems are lacking compared to what they could be if we want to say that we truly are the cycling capital of Canada. I think Wharf Street is a perfect example of how it's one of the most beautiful areas that you could imagine for Victoria, a great place to ride your bike, but not overly safe and not overly fun to ride.
But despite the lacking infrastructure, Fawcett says Victoria's cycling culture is strong.
A lot of our bike culture comes out of the weather and the climate that we live in and the people who are attracted to live here, and they really bring the bike culture.
Ryder Hejdahl, fourth wheel.
People like world-class cyclist Ryder Hejdahl, who's now competing in the Giro d'Italia.
So were you guys thinking about going around on the water in Victoria?
The enthusiasm for bicycling is growing.
Should be about right.
All of June is dedicated to the sport, and 60,000 people are expected at next month's Victoria International Cycling Festival.
And that brings us to tonight's checkpoint question. We want to know, what would it take to make your community more bike-friendly? Here is what some of you in downtown Victoria had to say.
With more bike lanes, I think that would really help on the traffic side too. Me being a driver, a lot of times it's really difficult around here because the bikes really don't have a place to go.
I think that cars need to be more careful about bikes, in my opinion. I think that people are rather reckless and they don't watch out for cyclists as much as they should.
I think most people should just ride their bikes. I think I think drivers and pedestrians all make silly mistakes in terms of driving, and I think if most people rode a bike, they'd understand that everything works on both sides of the equation.
I used to cycle a lot on the streets in Victoria, and I don't anymore because it's just got really way too busy and it just doesn't feel safe.
And here are some of your responses from social media. Scott posts, Victoria does a pretty good job with more and more bike lanes popping up all the time. What we need is more secure bike parking. Turtle says maybe they should do more to teach safe cycling first. And Lorraine writes, what we need is more educated cyclists on the streets. It would be much safer if they knew and obeyed the rules of the road. And that is tonight's Checkpoint.